My dear viewers, beginning today is the official Alliteration Gaming Patreon and channel members. Throughout my Patreon, we've got quite a few tiers you can check out in order to gain special perks and even commission videos that you'd like to see me upload onto the channel. Every tier includes a shout out on my supporter card at the beginning of all of my videos, along with the benefits of the tier itself. Following that, you can now also join the Alliteration Nation by becoming a channel member on the YouTube side of things. Pledging your subscription here as a member of the channel is going to grant you the same shout out on my supporter card as all the Patreon tiers do, as well as access to the members only channel on my Discord. You'll gain a member badge that will level up as you stay subscribed and access to my exclusive emotes when I stream on YouTube. If you're interested in checking out the Patreon, I'm going to have the link in the description and in the pinned comment down below, as well as the link to my Discord should you want to join that as well. And if you want to become a channel member, the big beautiful join button is front and center on my homepage right here. And if you do decide to support the channel in any way whatsoever, know that I am unimaginably grateful, and I can't wait to provide you with even more top-notch content at my trademark top speed. Now, let's get on to the video. Good evening, my dear viewers, and welcome to another Alliteration Gaming video. My name's Levi, and today, hot off the heels of a lovely patron who I think most of you are pretty familiar with, Willie T himself has cashed in his monthly character spotlight commission to have me sit down with you all and talk about the furious powerhouse that is Katsuki Bakugo 2. Bakugo 2 is a 7 hand size character with 20 health to spare and a couple of abilities designed to really put the hurt on your rival. In true Bakugo fashion, he allows you to both destroy your resources for massive stat gains and take away all your rival's defensive resources once he starts chaining his explosions together. You're trading a singular foundation for an extra 2 speed and adding to your powerful rating. That's just a fantastic exchange. Even if the attack doesn't have a powerful rating to increase, you can still use the enhanced just to pump up the speed. Moreover, Bakugo is infamous in this game for his combo chains of attacks, and now, whenever you play your powerful combo abilities, you're going to get to forever take away the text on 2 of your rival's foundations as long as they are in the ready state. Given that we're all about setting up combos and chain attacks with this character that we really don't want our rival messing with in any way, preventing them from using their powerful defensive disruption pieces is essential to our game plan. This level of stage control on an aggressive character is so very strong, and it really makes your rival have to think about how they want to commit their stage against you. Do they leave them ready and lose them forever, or do they commit them, forego their abilities this turn to have them for the next turn? Will there even be a next turn? That's always the question when you're facing this character. With Bakugo 2, you can destroy your stage non-stop and sacrifice everything to win, all while decimating your rival's defensive options as you send explosion after explosion chaining their way. Naturally though, Bakugo is only going to be so threatening if we've got some really strong powerful and combo attacks within our deck, so let's take a look at what kind of orange cards we want to be packing. The first order of business, if you're a big Bakugo fan, you're gonna love playing this guy because he absolutely excels at playing cards with his face on them. Bakugo has a massive amount of scary fury moves at his disposal. Attacks like Stun Grenade and Prominence Burn are gonna reward you for filling your deck up with nothing but these fury attacks, and they provide very powerful engines to your overall game plan. Then, things like Long Lasting Explosion and Howitzer Impact are just gonna reward you for both chaining attacks and blowing up foundations. Hey, the 2 things Bakugo 2 is already looking to do every single turn. More so, Fury attacks love to combo with other Fury attacks, so it's not uncommon at all to see us reaching in and dipping into Shigaraki and Endeavor's very furious kits to get some other powerful attacks there. Now, let's talk about momentum. When it comes to Fury attacks, they love nothing more than piling momentum non-stop. It is the name of our game, especially when our character wants to give us these massive powerful ratings. With that in mind, cards that generate us free momentum charges are going to be very pivotal towards our game plan. Instant Explosive Release is a free momentum if your first attack gets through, and even more if you pair it with something like Nitro Ignition. Detonation Launcher can also provide you with a free momentum when your next high attack comes in, and Blue Flame Palm Strike is probably the most on-demand momentum steal I have ever seen. We have no shortage of ways to make sure the fuel for our explosions is just always overflowing, but what are we going to use all of that fuel on? Let's talk finishers, guys. This attack package is at no shortage of incredibly strong ways to close out games using all your momentum. Howitzer Impact Cyclone is the be-all, end-all reason that we want momentum in this deck. Charging a free momentum and then drawing an unreal level of cards depending on how much fuel you have, this card is just why we do everything that we do. On top of that, Bakugo can pump it all the way up to a 5-speed move with powerful 5. That's crazy. Additionally, Blast Rush, Turbo, and Gigantic Explosion are just devastating moves that, even without powerful, are going to spend our momentum to attain just nuclear levels of damage on our rival. So as you can see, there is just an astronomical amount of attacks across the whole Fury package that just put in an obscene amount of work in tandem with Bakugo 2. Of course though, we're going to need to be able to play all of these moves successively, so let's talk some foundations. When it comes to foundations on this character, Sacrifice is still the name of the game. Any and all foundations that trade resources for even the slightest bit of aggressive fuel are going to be our bread and our butter. Losing a foundation for a momentum in self-propulsion, or a card in hand for +1 speed and stun 1 in snack time, those are expensive exchange rates, but they only come back to bite us if we don't win the game. Bakugo is always ready to risk it all for the win, so finding resource trades like that can help push you to be able to close out that game, and identifying when the right time to use them is crucial for victory. Next, let's talk about some synergies with our character. I am always an advocate of whatever your character is doing, let's do more of it. So, doubling down on controlling your rival's foundations is going to be fantastic. The less options they have to get in the way of you pulling off your combos, the better. So, including things like Apathetic and Irrefutable are going to give us a ton of control options to make sure that our combos always stay protected. Moreover, we love to destroy our foundations here, so make sure you're including tons of flip effects. Things that pump our speed or damage via a flip cost, like Tight-Lipped or Let's Fight Bad Guys, they're just fantastic. That allows us to get the full value out of our resources before destroying them for Bakugo's Enhance. Speaking of, we've got a really cool set of cards that we can include that pack effects that activate when they get sent to the discard pile, things like Aggressive Temper and Burst Speed. These mean that we can snag even more value off of destroying our foundations. Lastly, we are still very much a 7-hand size character, and even though we want to close out the game fast and early, we have to make that 20 health last at least a few turns. Bakugo 2's symbols have a surprising amount of speed control in things like Graceful Maneuvers and Ice Gliding, and some really nice defensive tech through stuff like Struggling with Studies and Manly Passionate Guy. Sometimes it's going to take a while to find all of your combo pieces, and you might even need to establish a very healthy stage before you go all the way in. So it's pretty important to make sure that you've got some tools on your board that function even when you're not relentlessly attacking your rival. Speaking of attacking though, let's talk about some assets that are going to help us close out the game. Grenadier Bracers is a fantastic include to pump damage in a very synergistic way with our character, and is just a must include in my opinion. Additionally, Battle Arena and Trace Sheet Cape are some very nice tech pieces to further our momentum game and reuse all of our powerful flip abilities across our turn cycles. Next, we've got to discuss some actions, because Bakugo's symbols have absolutely no shortage of very strong blue cards to toss into our decks. Go for the Win and Capture Evildoers are absolutely star players in this character, letting us gain benefits from playing on low foundations after we destroy all of ours, and allowing us to snag free momentum for our abilities. Sugar Rush Power Up and Season the Advantage are also some really great general use cards. Both of them are going to let us flip even more of our rival stage and generate some pretty powerful stat gains. And, well, if you really want to risk it all, the price for peace is always looking to be paid. Lastly, I want to talk about a couple things that might seem nice at first, but you might actually want to stray away from. Bakugo 2 symbols, namely Death, absolutely excel at foundation destruction. However, more often than not, you're going to be flipping so much of your rival's foundations that you'll eventually be able to just turn over the cards that you really don't want on their board, severely lessening the value of cards like Evil Gaze, and making cards that allow them to choose the destruction like Nothing to See here incredibly excessive, as they're just going to pick their face down foundations. These aren't cards that I think are terrible in your deck, but you might want to think a little more about them before you just jam them in like you would any other Death, Fire, or Earth deck. And that's going to conclude our showcase today on Katsuki Bakugo 2. A big thank you again to Willie T for commissioning this video. If you enjoyed or even learned anything from it, I would really appreciate some feedback via the like button. And if you want more quality MHA CCG content like this, the subscribe button is the thing to absolutely blow up. And if that doesn't do it for you, you can also hit the join button to become a channel member, supporting my work even further and scoring some sweet perks such as badges or emotes when I stream on YouTube. And if you want to commission a video just like this yourself, you can check out my Patreon to select your very own character for me to cover, or any of my other tiers to further show your support. I'm gonna have the links to everything in the description and in the pinned comment below. Above all else though, I just want to say thanks for making it all the way to the end of this video. That is all the time I've got for today, but I truly hope I can see you in the next one too.